Okay, so after reading the article about the young lady who was suspended from Wake Forest for using racial slurs, uh, did the University of Wake Forest have the right to suspend her? After reviewing the student conduct handbook from Wake Forest, I didn't find anything that, uh, excuse me, not suspend, expel her, would that they could use in the handbook to expel her. I think they expelled her over more of an ethical thing than what was in the handbook, and I think with that, she probably has a case towards them, but I don't really see her winning it. Um, it was like it's a very vague. It was just in the same thing with looking through Forsyth Tech's uh student conduct when it came to what is it, free freedom of speech. It's not, or student speech is, it's not touched on at all, and I think they had the right to expel her. Um, Personally, my belief, they had the right to expel her. Like I think it's over an ethic thing. It's just like that's not the type of conduct that you want representing your university or your school or institution in any way. And if that's the type of conduct that is allowed, then it can create a cesspool and, for negative attention and turn your institution that you have built into something that you didn't want it to be. So I think it was the right move to expel her. I don't think that they were wrong in doing that. Did they have the right to do it? I believe they had the right under an ethical standpoint. But if you base it mainly off of their handbook, you don't find any violation for what she did. And I think they might need to update their handbook on that. It's the same thing with Forsyth Tech's student conduct handbook. It's nothing in there that states if you commit that type of action that will result in your being expelled from the school. Which is unfortunate because I think that's something that should be in there. It should be some type of disciplinary action if anybody makes racial slurs of any kind towards another human being. That's just unacceptable. But reading through it and the article, it was um it was never cited any policies. It was more or less an encouragement from others that there should be a zero tolerance policy. That not that there is one already in place, but it should be treated as zero tolerance. And I think the backlash that would have came with them not taking any action or removing her at all from school would have been worse, way worse than it could have been. Like if they didn't do anything about it and just let her stay in school, I think the action from the community, or in this day and age social media, would have been an outcry, and it would have affected Wake Forest in a way which at the end of the day is everybody's bottom line, and that's the dollar bill, and that would have affected them in a lot of ways because schools like that, which are PWIs, they get a lot of money um, off minority finances, and grants and things of that nature, um, along with other things. But that's a big money maker, and if they lose stuff like that, then it could affect the university in a way that they probably never expected. So I think they didn't have any other option but to remove her from school. But I do see if she was to make a case for it, I could see how she would have a case.